Consider the phrase pura vida. Those of you who have had some Spanish background might recognize that this means pure life. These two words sum up Costa Rica pretty well. This is a country of beautiful ecosystems and rich culture and has some of the most hospitable people and calm political climate. Today I will be giving an overview of the country, and as someone who lived there for 7 months, I've included my own pictures and experiences in this presentation. Let's begin with some general facts. First of all, Costa Rica is a country in the Central American region. Its population is close to 5 million, which to put into perspective is smaller than the population of Indiana. Its borders are Nicaragua and Panama, and its water borders are the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. Its current president is President Carlos Alvaro Quesada, and it has 2 seasons, a rainy season and a dry season. In the rainy season, it rains literally almost every single day, and in the dry season, you will almost never see the rain. So there are 2 very extreme seasons. Next, let's go into history. Costa Rica was originally colonized by Christopher Columbus in 1502 and Spain. It was originally sparsely inhabited by indigenous people until the Europeans arrived in 1522. It first declared independence from Spain in 1821, and then it held its first democratic elections in 1899. It has followed the democratic tradition ever since, with 2 exceptions: Federico Tinoco's dictatorship, which lasted 2 years from 1917 to 1919, and the Jose Figueres revolt. Tico culture. The cultural climate in Costa Rica is extremely friendly and hospitable. They are mainly European of Spain descent, and they have an indigenous minority now, which makes up about 1% of the population. They have a high life expectancy of 77 years, and one of their most traditional famous dishes is gallo pinto, which is a dish with rice, beans, and eggs, and it's typically served for breakfast. They're also well known for their coffee, which is extremely good in my opinion, and just everywhere. You will never go into a home and not be offered some type of coffee or pastry or bread. Their day of independence is September 15th, and they call it El Dia de Independencia, and they have a similar celebration to us in the 4th of July, just fireworks, parades, but one thing that's a little bit different is that they always make lanterns for their parades, and so in this picture you will see that I got to attend one of those parades, and these are some of the lanterns that the kids made. Next we'll go into religion. Christianity is the official religion of Costa Rica, with a majority, 76%, of being Roman Catholic. So it's an extremely Catholic country, and the 2 pictures that I included are actually basilicas in Cartago that I got to visit. Basically one of the most famous ones that every year a bunch of Catholics make a pilgrimage to, actually. My personal experience at an evangelical church is that they're pretty charismatic in nature. They're also definitely more small. You won't really see a lot of mega churches in Costa Rica, and there's just a very strong sense of community and family within the church that I think sometimes here in the West we lack. Next, let's go into politics. So for government, they are a democracy. They are a democratic republic with a strong system of checks and balances, actually super similar to the US. They have an executive, legislative, and judicial branch. They have an electoral process as well. They also have governors for their 7 provinces, but they really don't have that much power just because, once again, Costa Rica is so small. Their current president, President Quesada, is considered very socially progressive, and he has done a lot of work with human rights. The government works to protect human rights. They have a strong value on freedom and equality. They're pretty progressive in nature, especially for a Central American country. Another thing to know is that education is very cheap in Costa Rica. Going to college is couple $100s, which is very different than it is here in the States. As far as foreign affairs, they declared permanent neutrality in 1993, and they have relatively good relations with the US and also with Nicaragua, which is kind of surprising because Nicaragua is a country that is kind of in turmoil right now. Next, we'll go into the economic side. They are a stable market economy, so there's just a lot of similarities to this country and the US. They were traditionally dependent on their coffee, banana, and beef exports, but they have diversified their economy, so it's now super dependent on tourism, agriculture, and electronics exports. Some other like agricultural things that they have depended on include coffee, pineapple, banana, sugar, corn, rice, beans, just a lot of crops like that. Last, second to last is the environment. They have an extremely rich and diverse landscape. Super beautiful ecosystems. They're actually home to over 500,000 different species. And they're responsible for 6% of the Earth's entire biodiversity, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you consider that Costa Rica's population is around 5 million and they're truly just not that big of a country, it means a lot. A large expanse of Costa Rica's environment is protected by the National System of Conservation. So they keep it really protected and very beautiful there. Lastly, we're going to talk about tourism. So like I just mentioned before, they have beautiful ecosystems, which is why a lot of people want to go and travel to Costa Rica. They have volcanoes, hot springs, rainforests, beaches, and just a ton of cool wildlife, including sloths, lots of different bugs, animals, birds, just a lot of cool things. They also have the city of San Jose, which also has a Mercado Central and just different activities and things that you can do in the city as well. In conclusion, I hope you were all able to learn something about the beautiful country of Costa Rica. It is a beautiful country that I was lucky to call my home for a small time, and some of the most amazing parts of it are the wonderful people and just the strong sense of community I was able to feel throughout the country. Something I think we can all relate to and is this strong sense of community just by living here at Taylor. Now that I've shared more about this amazing country, I hope you can now understand why the country's saying is Pura Vida.